Initially will reduce you, then
Right,
you will
right,
start
right.
your presentation, then you can
Right.
start.
Right.
Please turn off the presentation. Thank you.
A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind, I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages, a vacant modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
SAR has authorized over 25 research papers in reputed Scopus Index journals and also IEEE conferences, which addressing topics such as machine learning, wireless networks, and information technological systems. Also, SAR has published multiple patents in the areas of intelligent crop disease prediction using machine learning. SAR enthusiasm for innovation and student mentorship highlights his role as both academic leader and a contributor to education. So it's very truly inspiring, sir. Now I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Pawan Kumar, sir. Also, before that, please, I'm requesting everyone, please keep the mic is on mute. Also, please keep the video is in mute mode so that the session will be clear and smooth. Sir, I'm hand over to Dr. Pawan Kumar, sir. The session is yours. Please hand over and share your insightful words to
Thank
us.
you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. I'm audible, ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, you are. You're audible, sir. Please continue.
Now it is visible to all of you, please.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir. It is
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And thank you very much, ma'am. And hello, everyone. First of all, I welcome all of them to in this webinar. And before I start my presentation, firstly, I am very thankful to Srikant and his team member to provide me the opportunity to present this webinar. And I'm also very thankful to all the audience, those are joining this webinar through online and showing the faith on me. Once again, thank you very much to all of you. And the today topic of this webinar is very vast and it is not possible for me to complete this in 1 hour, but I assure all of them, I try to be best from my side. And in this webinar, with the duration of the webinar is the 1 hour. In the first 50 minutes, I try to explain with the help of this presentation mode. In the last 10 minutes, we are taking the question from you. And whatever the question you raise in your mind, please write down with the help of the pen and paper. At the end of this webinar, I try to solve all the question. And second thing, In this webinar, as we all know, we have the number of the application software tool. Those are very essential for the visualization of the data, but we are not focused to touch them because we are main objective to understand the core concept of the visualization, data visualization. Right? Now, ma'am, you permit me to start this webinar? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now, the outline of this webinar is the first we try to understand what the difference between the DE, DA, and the DS. And second, what is the use of the how can we data collection and the data analyze. And as we know, the data collection is a very important part to design the any models. And before to design a model, we have to also need of the data analysis. And the third one is that after that we use the data visualization technique. And the lastly in this webinar we try to show the with the help of one data set how can we use the data visualization to use in this data set, right? So now first we start from the what the difference between the DE, DA and the DS. As we know from last few years, the mostly people they are talking about the AI and especially the subfield of the AI, the machine learning, deep learning, NLP, they all are work on the data. If we try to design any model, they work on the previous value of the data. So data is very essential part for design the any model. Either we are the programming model or either we sometimes use some the application software tool. The data is the one of the key factor for design the any models. So first role of the D is the data engineer. The role of data engineer to collect the appropriate data. I mention again the role of data engineer to collect the appropriate data. Means appropriate means we have to take the data from the whatever the resource we are taking from them, from online and from the many resource. The data must be accurate because the prediction when we design a model with the help of the AI and the machine learning and the deep learning, the prediction of the data is totally depend upon the accuracy of the data, right? So first role is to collect the data with the help of the data engineer. After collection of the data, we use the data DA. The second part of the role of the DA. As we know, the data generally mostly in the form of the raw data, and we have to abstract the useful information from this data. And such time, if you know, sometime when we take the data, there are number of the missing value present in the data. So with the help of this DA, we analyze the data. We try to remove all the missing value. In the machine learning, we have the various tool to remove the missing value. For example, we use the sometime we remove the missing value of the specific feature with the help of the mean value of this feature. Sometime we are still there is a very few value are missing in the data set and the size of data set is very large. In this case, we try to only simply remove this row entry from this data set, and sometimes we use the average number for to replace the missing value. And the other technique is the other one is the duplicate value. The second role of the DA to remove the duplicate value from the data. And the third one is the encoding. This is very important to design the model. Before when we supply data to the modeling process, because after the DA data move to the designing part. Before supply the data to the model, we have to use the encoding process because as we know, our computer only understand the value of the 0 and 1. And sometime in the data, the information of the features value are not in the form of the 0 and 1. So encoding is the process to convert the value in the form of the 0 and the 1. So we have the different types of the encoding we mention in the next PPT. Other one is the scaling process. Sometimes we observe when we compare the two features value and the difference between the features value are varies to each other. For example, one feature is the age, other feature is we have the salary. Then we increase the age of the person as the age of 25 salary is 50,000 and the age of 30 salary is 55,000. So what happens when we see the comparison of both of them, there is a very big difference. Sometimes the salary in the term of the 50,000, age in the 25. In this case, we are use the scaling process. We are scale the salary with the scale value of the age, right? Other is the data visualization. So mostly after the final step of to supply the data to the model, the data visualization is the final step. In the data visualization, we try to understand what is the use of this. These are graphical representation of the information and data. And generally, we use the two types of data visualization in the machine learning. And obviously, we are focused man on the machine learning because the maximum people now they use this data science in the machine learning part. What happens in the machine learning? There are the two types of the data visualization. We have the univariable and the bivariable. We are discussing the next PPT also. And third one is the data scientist. The data scientist is a person who has the knowledge of the data engineer plus DA plus the machine learning tools, ML or whatever the tool you are using for that. So we have the difference between the DE. DE is the part of the to collection of the appropriate data, part of the DA to supply the data to the model, to useful information abstract from the data set and make the data ready for the implementation point of view. And the role of data scientist to be design a model with the help of the machine learning, right? So this is difference of the DE, DA and the DS, right? Now we move on the next PPT is the data collection part. In generally, we have the two types of the process to collect the information. One is the primary source of data collection, right? In primary collection of data source, we are gather the information from directly from the source person. For example, we have the directly information we have provided. There are a number of way to represent this, gather the information. Sometimes we use the survey. With the help of the survey, we are take the information from the direct from the person, and on the basis of this information, we are designing our data set, right? Same we have the sometimes we use the questionnaire. With the help of questionnaire, we also use the same process, and sometimes interview also play a very beautiful role to collect the accurate information from the user. And third one is the observation, then experiment. They all are the technique to take the data from the primary source, right? And second important thing of the primary data collection is that we are always find the accurate and the real data from the person, right? Second source of data collection is the secondary data source collection, in which we are not directly touched with the gather the information. We have utilized some existing data source, right? In this, what we use the three types of technique mostly we are used. First, the documented review. With the help of the review of some document, we are gather the information. For example, we have the book. With the help of this book, we identify some data, and sometimes we have the journal, we have the newspaper, we have the website. With the help of this newspaper, website, and journal, we are gather the information. It is not the primary source of information, right? On the basis of the documentation of this value, we are gather the information, and sometimes we have the just a minute. Just sometimes we have the social media monitoring also. We can also gather the information from the social media, like we have the Facebook and we have the YouTube. We have number of the resource present in the to gather the information, right? And third one is the data scraping. Sometimes we use some automatic technique to extract the data from the various online source. As we know, all the search engine they are used this technique for to gather the information from the various online source, right? So obviously, the data collection is a very essential part of to design any model, and we have the only two source, either primary data collection and the second data collection, right? Now we move on the next PPT, right? Now the types of data. Whether the information in the primary source or the secondary source, we have the two types of the data. We are arrange the data in two types. Either data is the labeled data or is the unlabeled data. The labeled data is the data which is the sometimes we are called the structured data, and unlabeled data obviously in the form of the image we are called the unstructured data, right? So labeled data obviously in the form of the table entry, all the value are the label value, and the unlabeled we have the form of the image value, right? Other is the semi-structured data, which include the both the label and unlabeled data, right? And if we're talking for the label data, maximum people there work on the research on the label data, right? If we're talking the label data, there's three types of the label data we have. First, we have the numerical data, right? In numerical data, suppose we have the feature, all the feature entry at the specific feature in the form of the numerical value. For example, we have this specific feature of data, these represent the age of a person. So age may be in the number in the numeric value, 25, 35, 45 age. Second, suppose we have the income of a person. It is also in the numeric value data, represent the numeric data value. Salary in the form of the numeric number, right? The second form of the label data is the categorical data, means we are represent the label form, right? For example, we mention the gender, male, female. So we have the two category, either the male or female, right? So it is the different types of data representation. And the third is the ordinal data. This is the categorical data, but it in the form of the order. Suppose we have the order form, the temperature is low, medium, high, right? So generally we have the label data in the three types, either in the numerical form, either is the categorical forms, either in the ordinal form, right? Then we move on the next PPT, data set. We are seeing one example for that. This is the one data set we are. In this data set, we have the 7 features, the salary, the gender, male, female, state, age, salary per month, and the TDS. From this data set, what we try to find out the if a person on this salary, on this age, it is eligible for the TDS, yes or not. From this value of this data set, we have the 7 feature. The first six value are the features are the input feature, and last 7 TDS is the output feature, right? Now, if we see clearly in this PPT from this figure, what we have seen, first we move on the age. Age is the numeric value, right? Age represent the numerical value. If you see on the age represent the numerical value, right? The second is the male, female. It is the types of it is the label data, right? The data is the label data, structure data. Other is the or first is the numerical type value, right? Other is the ordinal encoding, means the data must be in the order, right? We have the order means we have the male, female, right? They are mentioning the male, female, right? Third one is the state, the Haryana, Delhi, UP, Rajasthan, MP. So we are applied the one hot encoding in the machine learning. The Python in the Python Jupyter library, they provide the facility of the encoding process. So we have the one hot encoding process. With the help of this one hot encoding, we are changed this specific feature into value of the numerical form, right? And this is the label encoding, TDS. Is the final output we have the either on the basis of this salary, we have the value is yes, you are liable, you are eligible for the TDS or not, is mentioned on that. So with the help of this, we apply the label encoding, right? So what we understand for the input feature, we always apply the ordinal encoding and the one hot encoding and the binding process, scaling process, and for the output feature, we have the TDS, we apply the label encoding. There also mentioned one thing also scaling. If we are see the age and the salary, there's a big difference in both of them features. The salary in term of the lakh rupees and the age in the term of the 25, 35 and 40. It is when we are designing a model, suppose we use the data visualization technique of the vibrant between the features of age and the salary per month. Then it's very difficult to design a model or to visualize these both features because there's a high variation between both of them. So we use the scaling feature for that. So what happens with the help of the scaling, we are apply here to scale the value of the salary per month. With the help of the label encoding, we apply the TDS, change the value of y or n, yes or no in the form of 0 and 1. 0 indicate you are not eligible for the TDS, 1 for eligible for the TDS 1, right? And same we apply the ordinal encoding for the male 1, 0 for the female, right? And same for the one hot encoding for this one. And there is the bindings. Sometimes we are apply the binding. Bindings change the numerical value in the category form, right? For example, we have the 9 lakh LPA, 12 point this, 21 lakh LPA. There's a very big variation in all of them. Now suppose we try to be changed into the 4 categories, 0 to 5, one category, 5, and then the 5 to 10, then 10 to 15, then 15 to 20. So we are apply the binding technique for this year. So machine learning provides some technique to change the data for ready for the designing purpose, right? Then we have the, as we mentioned, feature encoding, the two types of data, numerical and the categorical. In nominal, with the state names, Haryana, there is no order. We use the one hot encoding as mentioned in the first PPT. Then we have the ordinal. In order, we have the order is the we apply the either ordinal encoding or this one the category encoding. In which this last one label encoding we apply on the output feature, right? On the target feature we are mentioned here, and we apply the ordinal on the input feature, right? And the binding is used for the just a minute. Binding used for the numerical to this one, right, value. So this is the feature encoding process. So with the help of this encoding process, we are ready the data for the designing purpose, right? Now before the supplied the data to the designing model, machine learning and deep learning model, first we have to use the visualization technique. Data visualization is one of the best technique to understand the data, to analyze the data, right? This is the reason we are give the webinar on this topic, right? Now we use the data visualization. So data visualization is the graphical representation of the information and data, right? First advantage and first feature of this visualization technique is that we are using the graphical representation of the information and data. Suppose we have the size of data is very large. We have the size of data is very large, so we cannot understand this data with the help of the table value, right? In this way, if we are use the data visualization technique, it is very helpful for us. With the help of this data visualization technique, we are use the visualized form of the data, and they are on the one page. They are mentioned all the graphical representation of the data, right? So if we have to understand the about the information and the data, this is one of the best way, right? Secondly, we use in data visualization, we use the simple graphs and some image to represent the data. That is, but one thing we have to focus in the data visualization, we have to important to choose the right graph and the chart types. This is very essential for us, because when we are designing a model, or uh, we are trying to understand the data about with the help of the data visualization, we must aware about the which graphs and which chart we have to apply on the specific data. This is the one of the best important thing, right? Sometimes the poor data visualization choice can lead to design confuse your audience, because if we have not the idea which graphs and which chart we have to apply on the specific data, it is not possible. We are ignore the our research purpose, right? So this is very essential for an engineer or for a research person, which tools we have to be apply, which graph we have to apply, which chart we have to apply for this, right? This is the use for that. And as we saw the some advantage of the data visualization, right? The first advantage of the data visualization, right? As we mentioned in the last PPT, just a minute, they are mentioning that the poor visualization choice can lead to the design that confuse your audience. So we have to focus one thing. We have to use which types of the technique we have to apply, right? Please write down this point. Now we move on the advantage of the data vision. The first advantage, as we see, as you know, when the many people are not easy to understand the numbers and the written word, right? So one of the best way to easily understand the data is the visualization of the data. So data visualization is the much more intuitive than to represent the data in the tabular form, right? So one of the best advantage to represent the data, easy understanding of the data, right? The second advantage of the data visualization is the simple data sharing, right? Make share data simple means easy, because we can ensure everything on the one same page. With the help of the visualization, all the data on the same one page, instead of the risking people not being able to understand or interpret the string of the number or raw data, we are put on the same page, right? So the sharing is very easy for that, right? And the better analysis, this is one of the best advantage. It is very easy to understand or to analyze about the data. As we mentioned, the size of data is very large. It is very tough for me as a tabular data to understand, but with the help of the visualization technique or tool, we can easily understand the data, and we can reach on the final conclusion from with the help of the data visualization technique, right? Second is the fourth one is the quick decision. Sometime in the company and the industry, they use some tool for that in their business, and with the help of this, they have the very time is very constant for that, and they simply they have to take the decision on the very quicker and fastly. If we are used the some tools of the data visualization, they easily understand the data rather than to understand the complete data in the tabular form. They simply with the help of this data visualization, they take the quick decision, right? So it is very quicker help in the to take the quicker decision in the to run their business, right? And fifth one is the save time. The as mentioned, the time is also very in business is very essential part and very crucial part in the business point of view. So it is help to save the time also, because with the help of this we can the better decision fastly and to move them forward in our business, right? So there are some advantage of the data visualization. There is a number of the mostly there number of advantages. We try to put some only very useful advantage of the data visualization, right? Now after then we use how can we analyze this? How can we use the EDA of any data, right? So for the EDA of the any data, first we have to understand the features, right? Let's suppose we have the age feature. We want to analyze the feature only age. We want to design and visualize the only one feature. So we use the univariate analysis, means the analysis of the single variable. And sometimes we want to analyze the two variable. We want to design a chart on the comparison basis of the two features variable. Suppose we design a chart on the basis of the age and the salary. We want to analyze with the help of the age and salary. As the age was increase of the person, the salary also increase. We want to design a graphical representation of the two variable, age and the salary. So with the help of we are called the bivariate analysis. This is very useful. So when we design any model as an engineer or as a research person, we must aware of that. What we have to do? We have to do the single variable analysis, or we use the two variable analysis. In machine learning, we have the univariate analysis and the bivariate. And sometimes what we have we have the number of the features, more than two features. We have the 15 features or 17 feature, and what is the relationship between them? How can we identify that? Then in case the machine learning, in the machine learning, the Python library, they provide a very beautiful algorithm. It's called the PCA, the principle of component analysis, and they also even a very beautiful heat map. We design the heat map for that. So with the help of a heat map, we try to find out the relationship between the number of the features. We are discussing the next PPT also. So in the when we design the EDA, the main focus on this PPT is that when we design the EDA of the specific features, firstly we have to be understand what we have to be design of the specific feature, which types of design we want to use. If we have the design of the single variable, we are use the univariate analysis. If we design the two variable, we are called the bivariate analysis, right? Now, data visualization. How can we do the data visualization? This is a problem for that. So one of the best we are called the tool, or we can say also a step for that. First, we have to make the first data purpose checklist. Means one of my favorite data visualization tool is the data purpose checklist. Before to design the any EDA of the single variable or the multiple variable or the two variable, firstly we have to use the data purpose checklist, right? This checklist provides the helpful framework for deciding the primary purpose of data. Means first we have to understand the what is the primary purpose of my data. Then we have to use the best designing or make the decision to match that purpose, right? So we generally mostly we have the five types of the division for this. But is the explain a process. Means suppose we have a data set given and we want to present our data set in the form of a process. We want to explain the data with the help of the process. Either we use the process, explain a process, and sometimes we compare between the two features or contrast, right? Sometimes we have the show a change. Let's suppose, for example, this increase of the, as we mentioned, as the age is increased, the salary is increased, right? And the second one compare, let's suppose we want to compare the number of the 10th with the 12th number, right? A person has the number in the 12th is 75 number, what the percentage of number in the 12th number. We want to compare both of the number, right? So, and third is the established relationship. Fourth one is the established relationship. We want to establish a relationship between the features. This is the fourth one, and last five is the others apart from this four. As mentioned, with any data set, when we design the tool, EDA of any data set, visualize the any data set, first we have to use the data purpose checklist and we have to ask ourselves a question: what is the primary purpose of my data story? When we design the data story and our first purpose to ask what is the primary purpose of my data story, and then select the one of this category, either the data in the explain a process form, in the compare form, so a change, establish relationship, or the other. Then design the model. So first we have to understand what is the purpose of my data set with the help of data purpose checklist. Then we have to use some 5 process. On the basis of this process, then we design which types of the technique we have to apply there, right? So any data you make should then be focused on clearly. So in the selected purpose means we have to be very essential, very useful to visualize. Before visualize, we have to more clear on that which types of purpose we are using for that, right? Out of this 5. Then is the after then data, we have the data on checklist, we have the 5 option, and now we are visualize with the help of this 5 option, right? So another helpful tool is the after the data checklist, we use the visualize the data. The first process, suppose we have the data set and we have the process for that. We have a data set, and with the help of the data set, we have designed a process for that. So our purpose of data visualization is to explain a process. Then we have to use a graph such as the flow chart, diagram, the parallel set, timeline, illustration, Sankey diagram. So we have designed and made a diagram in such a way. Means when we design a diagram or when we explain the data, inform the process in the form of a process, either in the programming part or either in the some application software tool. Both of them we use the flow chart. We use the timeline for that, right? So these are the great visualization representation of the process. So any process can be explained beautiful with the help of this above following discussed chart, right? This is the diagram of this. All these are explain the process. we have the flow chart, we have the diagram chart. Sometimes we see with all the data in the form of the tree structure in a order form. Then we use this one. And sometimes we have the timeline for this. We use the time to time change this. We use the timeline for that, right? And the second is suppose compare and the contrast, or sometimes change also. We are mentioning both there in one slide. Uh, Now we want to compare two features. Our, as we mentioned, our in the first PPT, we have the explain the process. The second is the compare. Explain the process. We have the use this one out of them. One we use which is best for as per your request, as per your need. Sorry. And the second is the to compare and contrast this or change. If the goal of your data is to compare or show a change, then you will likely choose one of the following graphs. We have the bar chart, we have the line chart, bubble chart, and this the pie chart is one of best. Histogram is very beautiful, and the all are the chart we are mentioned this. So we are not using the design chart here. We are not using the above chart. This one we are not using the flow chart here. If the we want to compare this, then we use the bar chart for that. We use the line chart, with the bubble chart for that. We use the pie chart for that. So this is why we are explaining this all of them, because when we are visualize the data, we must aware which tool or which technique we have to apply there. If we want to use the process, we use the design chart. If we are compare someone, we use the line chart, bar chart. Then we are with the help of this chart. This is the best graphical representation of the information and the data, right? And the third one is the to establish relationship, right? Now, if you data focus on the established relationship, we want to design a data set. We want to establish a relationship between the two features. We want to know what the relationship between the two features. Then you should choose the following graphs. Use the network diagram. As mentioned, we earlier heat map. It's a very beautiful graphical representation of the features in the machine learning, right? We have the Venn diagram. So they all are the representation of these all graphs are highlight the relationship between the data set and the can you help highlight the main point in their prediction, right? So with the help of this tool to find out the established relationship between them, either heat map and we have the Venn diagram for that, right? So what we have seen when we design the any process, right? We explain the process. When we have a process, data in the form of the present visualize in the form of the process. We use the flow chart and diagram and the illustration and timeline. And when we are compare the two data set features, also a change of the features, then we are use the this one, the bar chart, line chart, and the bubble chart and the pie chart. And when we use the find the establish the relationship between them two features, then we use the this one, heat map and the Venn diagram, right? The value of the heat map is mostly used for the maximum researcher use the heat map. I take 2 or 3 minutes on the heat map also. The heat map, the value of the heat map when we design the heat map, the maximum people when design the machine learning to use the machine learning tool for to find the establish the relationship between the feature, they design the heat map. The value of the heat map is like in between the -1 and the 1 value, right? If the value of the feature is more towards the plus value, means the both features are the highly correlated to each other. If value move towards the -1, value of the heat map of the two features is moved towards the -1, means there is a less correlation. So with the help of this value of the between the value of -1 and 1, we easily identify those two features are highly correlated to each other and those two features are the less correlated to each other, right there. Now the tool number 3, the first we as mentioned in the first PPT, the first is the to checklist, prepare the data purpose checklist and know the which types of process we are used. Out of 5 we use the one process. Then we visualize. Second is the visualize, and third one is the select your target audience. This is very important because when we are using the some application software for design the tool, for example, we are using the Power BI and there are a number of tools number of many tools are present in the market. So then we use this is very important for us to select your target audience, because when you are designing the any models, and it is very important for to your audience must be understand that. So another tool to create the good data visualization is to do the research on your target audience. And there are three main common audience for the data visualization is that the first is the scientific audience, other is the business audience, third is the public audience, right? And now we move on the first one, scientific audience, right? The audience may be include the laboratory members, the academic committee. In this, they all more focus on the research work, right? For example, so they are more clear about the graph design. So this group will be often require detailed information in your graph, because they more focus on the accurate result for that. So it is clear design. When you design the EDA or graphical representation of that, your design of the graph must be clear, and that help to communicate the research result, right? If your visualization target is scientific audience, you must need to be choose graph type that allow the details such as the number of the subject and their comparison to controls, and the result must be accurate for that, right? So some common specific scientific data tools we are used for that is the bar chart, right? The line chart. Suppose we have the two variable and we try to find out the between the bivariate analysis of the two variable. The bar chart is very important. Same we have the line chart is very important for that. Same we have the scatter plot. The maximum people use in the designing the in the machine learning field the scatter plot for that, right? And if we have the more feature, then we are use the heat map for that. Heat map is also one of the option to explain the to help to understand the this features for that, right? If we have the more number of the feature. Then the second one is the audience is the business audience. Let's suppose the some business, for example, in the business technology, in the biotech, in the pharmacy industry, they use the designing tool for that. So they audience use the data to inform their business decision, because they the time is very concerned for that. So the main focus they try to be on the eye-catching graph, right? In place of understanding the complete data, they want to take the quick decision for that. So the most important conclusion, and then they reach on the final decision on that. Huh? So the purpose of this business audience, we have to design the model, design the graph in such a way they easily, quickly understand by the person, and that they reach on the final conclusion from this data set, right? So then we use with this one business audience. So this can include the additional graph design. What happened to we so that we main point of the data such as the arrow, or we are sometimes mention number to stand out from the image. So as we know, there's some beautiful common business data visualization tool we use for the bar graphs, line graphs, pie chart, tables. They all are very useful, and we are additionally graph design. Sometimes we are add the arrow in that, and we have a large number on that. If you see in the PPT, we see one diagram in this. We are mention the arrow on that, and this with the help of this arrow, a person who is the dealing with this uh, business, dealing the business, they easily understand with the help of this graph. And sometimes we are mentioning number also that. So they are very helpful for that, right? And the third one is the public audience. A public audience respond best to simple information presented in an engaging way, because the audience sometimes the audience they are not aware of the technology. We have to be simplified the diagram in such a way they easily understand that. If a person is not the highly technical person, or he wanted to be understand the data, so we have to make a visualization in a very simple way. With the help of this, they easily understand this, right? So you're likely to want to choose a graph in such a limited detail. We are focused on the big picture of the data story, right? So this is the one of the best way. This include the using the illustration. The map is the one of the best way, and the infographics, and so the result without the having to read the detail of the text means sometimes try to understand that every time the person who is using the design the model is not aware of the technology. The person is a simple person, is no knowledge of that. We want to be one of the best way to design in simple way. The common public data visualization tool are the pie chart, bar chart, map, and diagram. As shown in the PPT, we have designed one very simple map design for that, and we have mentioned the uh, design of the Ukraine, and with the help of this, with the map is shown with the help of the nearby country of that, the Russia and the Poland and the Romania. They all are the nearby country on that, right? So with the help of this map chart, a person he has no knowledge of the technology, it easily understand that. So whatever the design we are using, either we have to main focus on the audience. If our audience is the scientific audience, we have the more communicate with the result part, right? We have to more focus on the result part. So in which we use the design such a way the result must be accurate, easily understand for that. So bar chart, line chart are very important. Sometimes when the audience are the very business audience, so we have to focus. They have very time is very constant for that. In this case, we have to be design a graph in such a way they easily highlight to the person. So sometimes we mention the line on that, arrow on that. Sometimes we mention the number on that. With the help of this, they easily understand them. Or they can take the quick decision for that, right? And sometimes the person is a public audience. He has no about any knowledge of that. So with the help of this map design, they easily understand the three types of graphical representation, right? And the last one is the data storytelling framework, right? The data storytelling is very similar to the human storytelling, but they provide the added benefit of the deeper insight, right? And the supporting evidence through graphs and the chart. Means data storytelling is very similar to the human storytelling, and this provide the added benefit to deeper insight and to understand the data with the help of the graph and chart. Through data storytelling, the complicated information is simplified so that the user audience can engage with your content and the make critical decision quick and the more confidently, right? So the benefit of the data storytelling is that adding value to your data in the insight. With the suppose we have designed one dashboard, and with the help of this dashboard, we add the number of data value to your data insight, right? And sometimes the complex information highlight and we are highlight the essential key point of the audience also, and provide the human touch to your data, right? And offering value to your audience and the industry, building credibility as the industry and the topic through the leaders, right? So what is the benefit of the data stream framework? It provides a one, for example, we just a dashboard on that. With the help of this dashboard, we are mentioned all the point on that, and we easily understand with the help of this data story, right? Then the process of data stream framework. The data visualization tools are very software application as mentioned. They are very used to represent the data graphically to make easier to understand trend and pattern outline, right? First, we think about the theory. When we want to prove or disprove, what do you think about the data will you tell you? So first point is to think about your theory. Second, to create the data for that. Before to design the any data storing framework, first we have to understand about think about the theory, what we are using, and then create the data. I need to develop your story, right? Second, define the purpose of the story. What is the purpose of your story, right? Using the data you gather, you should be able to write what the goal of your story is in a single sentence, right? And think about what you want to say. You have to mention or highlight the outline, everything from the intro to conclusion, right? It's easy to understand for the people. So with the help of this data storytelling, we have to design the graph in such a way easy to understand to the from the everyone, right? Then we have to ask the question where you write the wrong you're in hypothesis. You have to also mention sometime. It is not essential every time, but you have to be put on your data storing part, right? Then we have to create the goal for your audience also. What actions would you like them to take after reading your story, right? This is also we have to mention in the data storing framework. It is not also essential for that. Now, how data visualization help to enhance your data storytelling, right? This is very important. As we mentioned, the data visualization play a very significant role in determining how repetitively your audience is to receiving complex information. With the help of this data visualization, is provide the best way to design or to help to understand the audience about your data story, right? So they are reveal the patterns, trend, and finding from the unbiased viewpoint, right? Provide the context, interpret result, streaming data so your audience can process information, improve audience engagement. So with the help of this data visualization, your data storytelling is become very beautiful, right? Now, this is one data storing framework. We are designed that one example for that. We are designed the one dashboard. It is the data storytelling dashboard of the customer satisfaction and the agent analysis. So in this dashboard, we are mentioned the many things. It is one of the best example which shows we understand. We have the five category of this: the payment related, we have the streaming, the technical support, the content related, then admin support. The first one they are mentioned the percentage of that, right? How many person are satisfied with, how many are unsatisfied with this. This is a graphical representation of that in the form of pie chart. They are the unsatisfied customer is 59% and unsatisfied this. Then the 40% is the satisfied nearby 40%. Then the subject we have the mentioned the six subject is there. We have the admin support, we have the payment related, we have the streaming, technical support. They are mentioned all the five subject here, right? They're satisfied the number of the satisfied customer. They are in the percentage form. They are the number form, right? How many are unsatisfied? They also mentioned number form. How many issues are resolved, there are mentioned on it. So with the help of this data telling framework, story framework, we are designing the complete information about the data, right? This is one of the best way now. The maximum people nowadays use the data storytelling framework to represent their data, right? Then we have the some popular data visualization tool. As mentioned in the early, we have the mostly either we are used some application software for design the industry. The many people are not aware of the machine learning technology. They use some power popular option. There's some option for that, and for example, Tableau is the one of the best tool for to represent the data. The Power BI and the Google Charts and they all are the list is very long, right? So they are all the very powerful tool to explain the to visualize your data, right? They are the some application software. If we are talking the programming point of view, now the visualize using programming with a Python. In the if you use the Python library, they are the Matplotlib and the C1 library. The maximum people those are work on the Python, they use the Matplotlib and the C1 for that. They both are the very beautiful library to draw the design your or the graphical representation of your data, right? The Plotly also one of them. PyLab also use. If you use the R programming, we have the graphics and the ggplot2 library. So whatever you are using, either you are using the with the help of some. If you are not the knowledge of the technical knowledge, you can use the with the help of the Tableau and Power BI and Google Chart. And if you have some work on the Python programming environment, you can use the some Matplotlib and C1 library, right? And the R programming, we use the ggplot2. But main focus is that you must aware before to design the any designing of the any data, either with the help of the programming or either help with the help of some popular designing tool. We must aware which types of the design we have to be applied. So one of the best way to use the checklist, we have to first understand the data, what types of data we have, and what types of problem we try to solve. We use a univariable, it's the bi-variable problems. Then we have the whatever purpose to design a graph. It is a process design, use the flow chart for that. We design the comparison form, right? So use the compare for that. Sometimes we have that find the relationship, use the relationship design for that. If the number of features is more, use the heat map for that. So before design the any model, you must clear what types of the tool you are applying, right? Then we take the one data set here. It is the kidney data set. There are the number of features they are mentioned. We have the number of features are there mentioned, and this is last one is the classification features. This is the output feature, right? The value is 0 and 1. 0 means we have no problem of CKD, and the 1 is the problem of the CKD. They have the number of feature on that. Now when we try to suppose in this data set we have the five. There are the number of row and number of the columns there in this. Suppose we have the 1000 row, for example. So how can we understand this data? If we have the 1000 or 2000, as we know, if the size of data is very large, the data is provide the more accurate result, right? If the size is more, we have the number of the row. How can you understand about the specific features? So only we have the only option to visualize the data, right? So data visualization is the one of the best important key point to design the any model, right? If we want to design a very accurate or the specific model that predict the accurate result, EDA play very beautiful role. The visualization of data play very beautiful role. So now what we happen? Let's suppose we have what we do. Let's suppose we have the univariable analysis. Now, if we move on this one, either we use the univariable. Let's suppose we take the age. We want to analyze the age, only age. It's a univariable analysis. Let's suppose we take the two variable, it's a bivariable analysis. In this data set, we have the numerical value, we have the categorical value also. So which use, which model we have to apply there, right? Suppose we have the univariable analysis. The data is in form of the categorical forms. Means we have the pie chart. We have the RVC. So we have the RVC of the two form. Either we have the normal and the abnormal. It is in two category. Is a univariable analysis. We analyze only one variable RVC. So we use the pie chart for that. If you use the machine learning tool and design the tool, you must aware of that. If you are using the univariable analysis of the categorical data, you have to apply the pie chart here, right? And the second one is the bar chart, same RVC. We are doing the univariable analysis of the category data. We have to apply the bar chart. So you must apply this represent the best way for that, right? And third one is the numerical data. Let's push data in the form of the numerical form. Now it is very tough for you. How can you use? We cannot apply this one. If you apply the pie chart and the bar chart, it is not possible to give the best answer. So if you use the universal analysis of the numerical value, we have to use the histogram for that. Let's suppose we are this one, the age is the numerical data, and we want to analyze the univariable. Then what we do? We use the histogram for that, right? So you must aware that which types of model you are. And second is the displot. If with the univariable analysis of the numerical value of the age, we use the displot, right? So you must aware which types of graph will be best for you. So graphical representation is not a very big task. The problem is that you must aware that which types of graph you have to apply there. So you must aware in the category form, we don't apply the displot. If the data in the numerical, we are the univariable analysis, use the displot. Now we move on the two variable analysis. Now we are called the bivariate analysis. Let's suppose data in the numerical data form is the suppose age and BP. We are take the two variable here. This one, just a minute. Age and BP, right? They both are the numerical value. We want to be analyzed as the age increase, what's the role of the BP, right? So this is the bivariable analysis. We want to analyze the two variable, age and the BP, right? So which one is the best model? We are use the numerical scatter plot for that. In the x-axis, we are put the age as the age of the person increase. What effect on the BP on that? If you see on this graph, as the age of people increase, the BP is low sometime. This depend upon the data set value. This is a scatter plot for that. So what happens if we use the numerical analysis of this of the y variable, we have to use the scatter plot. If we use the categorical data, univariable analysis, we use the pie chart and the bar chart. If we have the univariable analysis of the numeric data, we use the histogram and the displot. And for the numeric data analysis of we use the bivariate analysis. Now suppose we have the bivariate analysis of the multiple categorical numerical data, then what we use? We use the, and second is the bar plot also. Bar plot also used for the bivariate analysis of the numerical value. This is also used. There are maybe number of the graph also, but we use some of them here, right? If we have the more variable, we use the relationship between them. This is the heat map we are using. So the value of the heat map is between the -1 to +1. This is very important for that. So with the help of this heat value, we are take all the variable in the form of the x-axis, and then y-axis the same variable we are put, and we find the relationship between that. So the value lies between the -1 and the +1. This is the relationship between them. With the help of this, we find out all the relationship here, right? And thank you very much, everyone. And if you have any question, please you can ask me. And but I take only 5 minutes or. One request to all of you: when you design the any model, the EDA play a very beautiful role. Either we are using the machine learning tool, Python programming, or either we use any model with the help of the some inbuilt application software. The EDA play a very beautiful role. As a person or data, those are doing job in the as a DA, so they have to must aware which types of the plot you have to apply there, right? Thank you very much. Any question, please?
If anyone have any questions, please ask. The
Can
resource
we
person.
get can we get the recording of this session? Is it available, the recording?
Sorry.
Can we get the recording of this session?
Yeah, you can watch in the YouTube live session.
What is the YouTube channel?
We'll provide the link in the chat box. You may check it.
Okay.
Also, I'm requesting everyone, please provide your valuable feedback. Provided the link in the chat box. And those who provided their feedbacks will only receive their participate certifications in your mail IDs. Thank you. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, ma'am, we wind up. No. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, previous sessions, the certificates are not received on mail. Then how many days they are take to receive on email?
Hello.
Hello. Take to receive on email.
Kindly fill the feedback form, sir. You'll get the certificate. See, if you
Sir,
have
I
any questions, you can ask related to the content to the resource
yeah
person.
yeah.
Sir, if you are
Certificate
permitted, we
should
are logged out
complete
from that. If you know question, please.
Sir, how to create dashboard for if any want to digital payments?
feedback form, sir.
Sir, it depends upon the data set, sir.
See, if you
It
have
depends upon the data set, right?
Yeah
the resource person.
The only purpose is that you first must know before design the any EDA or any graphical representation, you must know which types of tool you have to apply there. You
yeah
cannot apply you have to focus on the 5 point. If you design with the help of a process, use the process diagram. If you use the comparison, use the comparison diagram. So you must aware which types of tool you have to apply there, right?
yeah
If you use the
yes
machine learning, then use the heat map. Heat map is the one of the best tool, right?
yeah
We have the limit of the time. If the sir permit, in the next session we move on the machine learning because from last 3 and 4 years I more maximum work on the machine learning, deep learning and NLP, right?
yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Srikant sir. Thank you all the team to invite me again, and thank you all the audience. And best of luck. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you are
Thank you.
permit, I log out from that, sir, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please fill all the feedback links, sir.
Those who provide the feedbacks will receive the participate certificate.
In the form of the x-axis and then y-axis, the same variable is we are good. And we find the relationship between them. So the
Those
value
who
like
provided their feedbacks, please leave the session.
this one. This is the relationship between them. With the help of this, we find out all the relationship here, right? And thank you
Those
very
who
much.
provided feedbacks will please leave the session.
And if you got any question, please you can ask me. And bas, I take only 5 minutes off.
Those who provided their feedback.